So I'm moving on to Africa. One thing.
Okay, one thing. Okay, yeah, I know I said a lot of the, compassion before as well, but now that I'm thinking about it in my head, since we're talking a little bit more about funding, I want wellness to not be a luxury. In my ideal world, because I know with therapy, for example, I'm just going to say this really quickly. With therapy, yes, there's a lot of mind, but there is a holistic thing of nutrition, of massages, and it's not because I just need a massage because I'm luxurious. It's actually the physical alleviation of stress does something for me. I want to be able to afford candles, as weird as that sounds, but candles I get from the dollar store because I go through them so fast, because something that grounds me is scent. Not everyone knows there's different things that can ground you, and scent does something wondrous for me. But when a candle costs $35 or up, well, my lifestyle becomes almost luxurious when I don't think I want too much. Just like Jay was saying, I just would like to live a life where I can receive the basics and I can give back to the community that supported me so much in all my art and all the endeavors I want to do in my family life. I want to give back as well, and I don't want to feel like I'm begging for luxuries here.
Yeah, it's not a luxury. It's a right others get. And when you add the intersectionality experiences, we get it less and less.
Because there was a time, and again, I'm glad this is a Black space, safe space, because there was a time in my family, and maybe other people resonate with this, but something like saying, oh, seeing a therapist, weekly in our head, and even though this sounds ignorant, that was like something a white counterpart would be able to do. That's not something in our world. We get to see a therapist weekly. Are you kidding me? I happen to have someone who's sliding scale, so it makes it a reality in my world, but that wasn't something in my life that I would say I'm entitled to, I'm allowed, I'm worthy of. I had to recalibrate that I can do this too, and I can check in weekly, and I'm deserving of attention and care and getting my mind right.
Thank you, Africa. On a pass to Kellina.
Can you just repeat the question one more time for me? Because there's so much commentation.
I know. All you have to do is tell us one, there's a many, and we're going to talk in the room, one thing that you want somebody on this call to know you need and deserve and demand.
I would say the one thing I would need if the school education system break down the sign language, have that had a mandatory language course, just like French, Spanish, or any other language. I'm like, no offense for Spanish, but like, where did the Spanish come from? So I prefer to have the sign language. So that is what I need. And for my community to be able to communicate just like everybody else.
Awesome. And I leave it to you, Jay. There's another question here that I'm asking, and they're telling me my time is up, but that's okay. Jay, one thing. We'll talk about it in the breakout rooms. One thing.
Compassion without the need for comprehension. And what I mean by that is world-renowned speaker, scholar, Aronke, that I watched. They are non-binary. They study, they're of Indian descent. They study different cultures and histories and gender identities, etc. And they say all the time that they want people to be compassionate towards them without the need for comprehension. So I don't need you to fully understand why I need the support I need to not only survive but thrive. I just need you to understand that I'm a human being who is deserving of the same compassion and same care as everybody else. You don't need to know my whole story and understand exactly where I'm coming from to see that I'm a human being who just wants to be seen, heard, valued, and supported like everyone else. I don't need anything else. I just need people to be compassionate and less, oh, I just don't get this. You don't need to.
Compassion without comprehension. You don't need to know. You don't deserve to know, and you don't have to legally know. You just need to know what we tell you, which is it might not look the same for a white body, but for us, it looks different, it feels different, and it acts different. You need to understand that. Thank you all. Now, I have to ask a question because it's the third group that we're going to be going into that I'll be running. It's on benefits. Many of you talked about ODSP. Some of you may have the disability tax credit. Some of you may not. You know there's a new benefit coming. If you don't have the disability tax credit, you're not getting that benefit. Tell me, each of you, if you don't mind, or if only a couple of you want to talk, what has been your process in this process of getting your benefits and credits? Has it been successful? Has it been a medical journey? Oriel, you want to go?
I want to go because I'm exhausted.
Okay, go.
I've been trying. I recently got approved for the DTC up until
Yay!
2028. Yay, yay.
Took a long
So
time.
yeah, that's a pretty decent time for me to find a competent caregiver, you know. The process to get that was hell. Not only do I have African Nigerian parents, that comes with a slight dose of ableism, and then I'm queer. So we've been beefing for a while, and now I'm talking about I'm disabled. They're not having it. They're not having it. My dad did not want to help me find the resources I needed. I needed one specific thing. I think it must have been like something with one of my documents that I just don't have access to because I went to uni, right? And your parents just keep a lot of your important documents at times. And my dad refused to give me this one thing. It was like a number I needed. It wasn't even my SIN. I don't remember what it was. I'd filled out the forms. My doctor had sent everything in. This was the last thing I needed. And I think 9 months into the new year, my dad just like gives up and he gives it to me. And they approved me within a week and a half, and now I was able to open my RDSP, whatnot. But now there's everything else, like getting disability provincially. I still need my parents for that. So like the RDSP, now I have long-term disability savings. Like I have a retirement account set up. But for what reason, if I still don't have access to the things that give me a daily livability? And like the issue right now with my parents is you're not done school and you're saying you're disabled. And like I got my DTC, which means my parents can actually get the childcare benefit and stuff. But because of ableism and the lack of comprehension or like lack of compassion due to needing to comprehend first, my dad thinks that all these things I keep telling him, let me talk to your accountant. He's like, I don't want the money, use it for your student loans. None of the money would even come to me. I can't apply for it. If no one applies for it, you won't get it. The anger, the hatred, and the ableism has put my parents in such a position that they're, excuse my English, but they're fucking themselves over. Their taxes, they own a business. I'm so sorry. They own a business. They're doing all these things. And still, I'm so tired. And yet I took the time to seek out information that would help you when you don't see my humanity. And that's what's frustrating, is that now I can have retirement savings. But I was trying to get my mama and daddy some benefit coverage back because they didn't know they were dealing with a disabled kid. But if they had some compassion, maybe they would. And they would also be getting like 60K back from having to deal with my really, really disabled self growing up. But since we grow up in cultures that mute that or use other ways to temper the children, I'm now in a position of knowing I'm disabled. The government has approved my RDSP. But even to get the benefits properly or to have them be elongated, I will probably still need my parents' backing if I wanted to get it extended again. So they would my doctor would be like, when was the first time you saw this in your kid? Or getting diagnoses. I can't even ask my parents for these things, right? They have coverage. I can't use my dad's coverage for massage therapy. My university covers $20. I pay $180 out of pocket each session because if I send it to the family medical insurance, you're not going to send me my money back because it's not real. It's not real to them. So
Yeah.
these things, like even when I'm accessing the little, I can't access the other part. So like I'm even having trouble explaining to him. I might need to take a term off school to get myself together. Like Africa was relating. I was like, girl, I relate to this experience. I'm almost there right now. I'm at the point where that breakdown, the tipping point is happening because I'm advocating for myself. I got to university at 16, y'all. I'm 22. I'm still here because my parents didn't know how to support me. They don't care. I was taking 6 courses each term. I'm finally taking the amount of courses for disabled students to excel. But now they're asking me, just tell us when you graduate so we can be done with this. It's having to show up for yourself every single day and then having 8 months of filling out one document just to prove to them that you should exist properly. It's exhausting. So even if you do get this thing done, guys, it's another step. I don't even know what it is like in Ontario, but I'm trying to figure out the provincial part now. And I have to be out of school. before I can even qualify for disability. Y'all, I am exhausted. And that's it.
I wish you were in Toronto and we could all hang out.
Everyone keeps begging me to move to Ontario. I must at this point.
Now, this is a thing we're going to talk about more in the breakout rooms. The Black community, ableism, our families, the Black identity, and how that how that happens with the disability confidence journey. It is another layer of trauma and burden that we face that other peoples don't see. Did I miss anybody making their last comment? Pardon?
Africa. I think Africa had joined up.
Africa, I missed you?
Do we have time? Do we have a second? It will be fast.
Yeah, I want to know the journey.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say quickly because, like, first of all, congratulations that you got that. Like, I know. It's. I feel like it's sad that we have to be like, we won, because it's like we're begging, we're begging. Right now, due to times where I've had to do like sick leave and whatnot, I'm doing reduced hours, and I'm looking to the government for some aid. But I will say there's a cultural factor that maybe anyone in this audience, if this resonates with you, please let me know, because like it's something I battle with, and I don't know if it's just a Black thing or if it's just a me thing or my family thing, but there is a part of me that really, really, really denies wanting to get any aid from whether it be social welfare, or there is a part of me that's like, I'm already Black. I'm already pulling, what different, I won't say white bodies, but just what society is already kind of saying, you pull the Black card sometimes, what are you going to do? Pull the disabled card now? And, you already said you had mental health. And I don't know, this is not someone policing me, but there's some kind of narrative in my mind that's like, how am I supposed to look at people and say, part of my bills are being paid by tax, also my own tax dollars as well. But I mean, some of your money is paying for me to live a normal life, or I can get away so much with being functional. I can't seem to defend myself to say it's a struggle every day. And like I said to you all, to try to give you a bit of a context, I had to learn how to have speech again, how to carry conversation again. It's not in my head that this happened. I was quite in a difficult situation, but I've come out of it, but it doesn't mean every day if I get in a conversation that's too much or too overwhelming, you will hear me stutter, you will hear me regress, you will hear the backwardness go back, and I forget my words, I forget what I'm thinking, and it's a struggle, but I get by enough. It's similar to being light skinned or something, when people say you're passing, you can pass enough. So just because I can pass enough, I'm out here sometimes I feel like I'm begging for, OW. I feel like I'm begging, and there's already a pride, Jamaican pride, in like, we don't do that. We don't ask the government for money. Why would we? You can pull yourself up by the britches and you can handle what you need. You are nothing is wrong with you. You don't need to ask for extra. Do like we all have done and get your ish. I'll try not to swear together. Get it together and do what every able-bodied person can do, because I get the sentiment that like nothing is wrong with you, but it's also ignoring that I am struggling. I'm struggling. It's not in my head. So I would end up ranting, but I'm just saying I'm even trying to now finally get to the point where I feel I'm worthy of applying. I'm entitled to apply. And maybe they still say no, but I'm not even past sometimes I qualify, or, I think in my head, maybe someone is worse off than me, so I shouldn't even take up space. I'm just getting to that process of I would like to, if I'm entitled, I would like this compensation. Thank you very much.
You are entitled. It is your right, and you deserve it.
That's it.
And one of the major things is we have problems getting the documentation even from the medical professionals, because they don't believe us either.
Yeah.
So hold all this for the breakout rooms, because it's going to be, again, I try my best, everybody, to facilitate. I knew what was going to happen. I was thankful. I have learned so much for these brilliant leaders, Black resilient liberators, and I'm saying, I think we're a little bit behind time. So I don't have time for the questions, but people will answer your questions, and you feel free, Oreo and everyone, to look through the questions and answer them. And I'm gonna pack away. Fola, you win. We're only 40 minutes behind, and this is very important. And I'm gonna ask Aronke, I guess, as the host, to come back on. And whew,
Yes,
Sorry,
thank you.
Aronke.
I have to tell
Sorry.
everybody,
Sorry, we went on.
sorry.
Thank you
How
so much.
often do Black people with disabilities get to say? Hell, you said nobody even asks you. We write it in papers. We write it in our research questions. We write it in our proposals.
Thank you for existing. And also sorry for sharing. But I gotta say, I remember the day I discovered Asha. Even before before there was a job posting, I had heard about them about a year before. I thought it was a scam because why would anyone in Canada care about Black people with disabilities? And why would you make it an organization? You have to be lying. It has to be a mattress storefront. But then I worked there, and there is advocacy happening. I'm not gonna tear up yet, but I'm grateful for this spaces. I'm grateful for this work and the initiatives that we have. Damn, I'm gonna stop talking. I can't do it.
We are
Thank
grateful
you.
for you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Liza. Thank you so much, Kellina, Jay, Oreo, Africa. Thank you. You've given all of us new perspectives to the struggles. You've given us insights. You've answered some of the burning questions in the hearts even of the organization, and we're so super grateful to have all of you here with us.